Hello there and welcome to Shibari classes. My name is Sophie. You usually see me as the model, but today I'm going to take you through my warm-up. So this is a low impact warm-up for floor work for beginners. So we're going to start off by getting some blood pumping around our bodies. So I start this off by doing little side-to-side skips, and I also rotate my wrists. This helps the blood get to my arms, my legs, everywhere it needs to go. And change the rotations of your wrists as well. Also, I like to flick. This is a little more intense, but again, we want the blood pumping through our bodies. Especially in winter time, you do not want cold muscles and cold limbs for rope work. Okay. Now we're going to do some sidestepping. Very simple. You can also add like a squat lift like this if you want to go for a little more of a challenge. And again, this is just warming our body up, getting our muscles engaged and our body is nice and warm. Okay, so usually I would do that for a good few minutes, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to stop it there. Let me just get my breath back a little bit. Right, now we're going to warm up our necks. This is very, very important, warming up the necks, the shoulders, your arms. There are a lot of nerves here, and you can get a lot of injuries if these aren't warmed up properly. So very simply, just going to raise our neck up, hold, keeping our back straight and down, chin to chest, and then back up to the side, again keeping our backs and our shoulders straight, to the front and to the side. I also like to do ear to shoulder, stretch this part of your neck. This is especially helpful if you're doing hair ties, things like that. You can put your neck under quite a lot of stress, and it might be something that you don't think about. We also like to do some head rolls, nice and slowly, really stretching your neck out. Always go the other way. If you do something on one side, you have to do it on the other. Lovely. Now we're going to get our shoulders warmed up. Little shoulder rolls. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, bring your elbows up, and that just gives you a bit of a deeper roll, a deeper stretch. And of course the other way. And again with the elbows, making the elbows the highest point of your roll. Lovely. Okay, continuing with our shoulder stretching, we're going to take our arm on our forearm and stretch. You should feel this all down here. Again, these stretches are very important. You know, your arms are pretty much always tied in shibari, so stretching the muscles and keeping them warm is very, very important. And then we go into this, stretching all down here. Again, if you've got a tie that's like this can be very, very helpful, especially if you're going to be in it for a little while. This also stretches down here as well. Of course, the other side. Yeah, I'm stiff. And if you want to take it a bit further, you can bring the hand up here. not totally necessary, but if you want to deepen the stretch a bit more, you do have that option. Okay, now we're going to move on to the waist, and I just do some very simple hip rotations with the arms at chest height, and make sure you follow your nose. So you don't want to be like this, you want to follow your nose. And if you want to deepen that, lengthen the arms. Lovely. And then I just do some very simple hip rolls. Now you can do this quite deeply, like so. Just whatever your body allows. And of course the other way, which may feel quite weird. It does for me. Lovely. Now we're going to move into stretching our sides. So standing with your feet just slightly wider than hip length, and we're going to go over. So you can either have your hand on your hip, or I like to place my forearm in between my hip and my thigh, and you stretch over like so. Again, you can kind of stop yourself from going too far with your hand on your hip, whatever feels right for you. I'm quite flexible, so I do like to go a little bit deeper. Okay, now let's move on to our legs. So we're going to start off with just some squats, making sure that you're going down bottom first, like so. And I think just 5 of these to get the thighs engaged. You know, if you're doing a foot and momo or something, it's really, really good to get your thigh muscles nice and warmed up and stretched. Okay, now we're going to go down to the floor. So depending on your flexibility, you can have your feet out here, bring them as close as you can towards your groin, and we're going to hold our toes together, and we're going to do what's called a butterfly. This is just to loosen your hip flexors. Another very important part of stretching is stretching your hips. You really don't want to damage your hip flexors, and it's quite easy to do, and it's very, very painful. Okay, and then we're going to push down onto our knees and just come forward as far as you can, making sure your back is straight. If I show you, we're not coming down like this, we're coming down like this. So it's better to have your back straight and go less far down than to have your back arched and go further down. And we're going to repeat this just a few times, just to warm up those hips. I find pulsing really, really helps. Just ease yourself into it. And if you feel like you can, just come down and hold, just for a few seconds. And then begin to flap your butterfly wings again. And just repeat. Okay, we're going to carry on with the legs in a bit, but I'm just going to show you how I warm up my wrists. This is so important in shibari, to make sure that your wrists are warmed up, they're stretched. Of course, you know, you've got nerves all the way down your arms, and you can very, very easily damage your wrists. They're actually quite a weak part of the body. So this is how I warm up my wrists. Come onto all fours, and we just slowly and very slightly just rock onto our wrists, like so. And then we're going to turn our hands outwards like so and rock from side to side very gently. I do this especially because I damaged my wrists in gymnastics. So this is probably one of the most important parts of warming up for me. Okay, and we're going to repeat, but with our palms facing up. And again, very lightly rocking. Don't overdo it. You just want to feel just a slight stretch down your wrists and down your arms. So exactly the same thing, just turning both your hands out, but with your palms facing up. Lovely. And then I just give my wrists a bit of I call this the Mexican wave. Get them all loose. And I finish off with, I don't know why, I've always called this the chaotic ball. I have no idea what else you would call it, but just roll your hands and your wrists together and it just loosens them up and give them a good shake. Okay. Now we're going to slightly warm up our back and our tums. Coming onto all fours, try to make sure that your hands, shoulders, hips and knees are parallel. And we're going to bring our backs up using our core. So we're not thrusting our hips, we're using our belly muscles to pull our back up into an arch, head down, and then slowly and controlled into an arch, face up. And repeat this a few times. This just wakes up your belly muscles, it wakes up your back muscles. You can also play with it here, you know, you can carry on with your wrist stretching if you want. I like to give my bum a little wiggle. Just do whatever feels good. And I repeat that quite a few times. Okay, we're going to move on to our legs. So starting from a cross-legged position, we're going to take one leg out and just place your hands just above your knee, lower thigh, and with a straight back again, just come down. You don't have to come down far at all, you'll feel it stretching your hamstrings. And again, I quite like to pulse and then hold. And if you feel like you can go a little further, then absolutely do. But the main thing is that you've got a straight back, so you're not hunching and coming over like this. It's better to come down a lot less, but with your back straight. Another thing you can do if you want to intensify it is point the toe and then extend, and then you'll feel that lower down towards your calf muscles. Like so. And of course we have to do the other side. And again, just very lightly stretching your hamstrings. And then hold. This side of my body is certainly a lot stiffer than my other side, which you will find, I'm sure. Okay. And I like to give them a little bit of a wiggle. Okay, and to finish, we're going to stretch our ankles. So we point, and we flex, and we point, and we flex. And I like to do rotations. And the same on the other side. Lovely. Right. Another good stretch for your hands and your arms. Simply bringing your arm in front of you and pulling your fingers back, like so. You'll feel this all along here. It's a really, really nice stretch. Like so. You can also do it the other way. And give them a shake. Lovely. Okay. Okay guys, so that was a very simple low impact warm up. Please bear in mind that I would usually do a few more reps of each stretch. I've kept it short for the sake of the video. So just go as far as you can, do as many reps as you can. The most important thing is that you're warming up your body from head to toe, making sure the blood is pumping around the body, your muscles are engaged, your nerves are flossed, and your body's ready to go into a tie. Thank you, and look after yourselves.